In the quaint town of Zalipia, nestled among the verdant hills of southern Poland, there lived an old clarinet player named Yitzhak. A solitary figure, Yitzhak was known for the haunting melodies that floated from his small, ivy-covered house during the twilight hours. His music would weave through the village's lanes, enveloping the town in a blanket of melancholy and memories. Despite his gifts, Yitzhak bore a palpable sadness about him, as if he were searching for a lost treasure or mourning a love that time could never return. Years ago, during the turmoil of the war, he had been a musician in one of the great symphonies of Warsaw. But the war took more than his stage. It claimed his family, his friends, and his beloved wife, leaving him adrift in a sea of solitude. His music became his only solace, his clarinet a beacon in his sea of darkness. Every day, Yitzhak would walk through the village, his old clarinet clasped firmly in his wrinkled hands, each step a testament to years marked by both resilience and grief. The townsfolk held a deep respect for Yitzhak, but the younger generation viewed him with a mixture of curiosity and indifference. This changed one spring evening when a young girl named Rivka approached him. Rivka, a granddaughter of one of Yitzhak's few remaining friends, was a precocious child with a boundless fascination for history and stories of the past. She had grown up listening to tales of Zalipia's once vibrant Jewish community, almost entirely decimated during the war. Intrigued by Yitzhak's somber tunes, she sought to learn more about him and his music. One twilight, as Yitzhak played a particularly soulful melody, Rivka approached him, her eyes wide with innocent wonder. "Why do you play?" she asked straightforwardly. Yitzhak paused, a trace of surprise flickering across his features before receding into his usual stoic expression. "My music," he began, his voice rough like the timbre of his clarinet, "is a bridge to the past, a prayer for the future. It's all I know to keep the memory of loved ones alive." Rivka sat beside him, her interest piqued. "Can you teach me?" she asked. Taken aback by her request, Yitzhak initially hesitated. Teaching his precious art to a child of this new, oblivious generation seemed unthinkable. Yet, something in Rivka's earnest gaze reminded him of his younger self, full of hope and passion. As the days lengthened into summer, Rivka became Yitzhak's apprentice. Under his tutelage, she learned not just to play the clarinet, but to pour her soul into the music. Neighbors began to notice a change in the melodies that danced through the village streets. The tunes held a newfound layer of hope, intertwining seamlessly with Yitzhak's melancholic harmonies. Through Rivka's zeal and inquiries, Yitzhak began to speak more of the past, sharing stories of his youthful days, the war, and of a Poland rich with Jewish culture. Rivka absorbed every word, every note, weaving these tales into her music. As months turned into years, Rivka's skill with the clarinet blossomed, and so too did her bond with Yitzhak. The old man, who once saw his music as a final ode to a fading past, now perceived it as a vibrant declaration of remembrance and continuity. At a local celebration of Zalipia's cultural heritage, Yitzhak and Rivka performed together for the first time. The audience was spellbound by the duo, their music a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. After the performance, an elderly woman approached Yitzhak, tears glistening in her eyes. "Your music," she said, "brought back memories of those who are no longer with us. Thank you for keeping their spirits alive." That night, as Yitzhak walked home, his step was lighter, his heart fuller. In teaching Rivka, he had rekindled a flame he thought lost. Through her, the stories of his lost world would live on. As he gazed up at the stars twinkling above Zalipie, he realized that perhaps the treasure he had long been seeking was not behind him in his past, but ahead in the legacy he was helping to forge.